when it comes to film, usually women are expected to be like the talent or in the glam team, hair, makeup, wardrobe, maybe creative direction, but there's way less women that are in more of the leadership roles.
We heard Monique talk about it. But talk about some of the discrimination that we see even now in 2024 when it comes to women in this entertainment industry.
The perception of where women fit into these industries, like these perceptions by men who are ultimately controlling the industry, like, and it can be very tiring when you're dealing with the dynamic of, you know, being the only woman in the space or being the only black woman in the space. But I have to speak up and say something. I have to advocate for myself. And there was several times where I just felt like, you know, I couldn't really worry about how the people, specifically the men around me, were about to react to me, but I needed to make sure that they understood, like, who I am and the type of business that I stand on when it comes to how I work, respect, like the general work environment. Like, I'm not settling for it.
DC, what up? Northeast, what up? East Coast, what up? We international, Ryan. DC, what up? PG, what up? East Coast, what up? We international, Ryan. Shit, all the way all over the world. I just said Gaza, man, but shit, we can really double back to Gaza. We can talk about the Sudan. We talk about anywhere where people are going through it right now. That could be right there at your home. It could be across the world. We want to say shout out to them. Listen, hell of a show for y'all today. Make sure you, wherever you listen to it, if you listen to it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, make sure you like, share, subscribe, join the Culture Media Network, follow me, Floyd World. We everywhere. Man, it's so good to be back. We got a legendary guest with us, special guest, man. You know, for a couple episodes there, like I said, it was a sausage fest. So there's a lot of niggas around. You know what I'm saying? And that's fine, but it'd be a whole bunch of machismo and a lot of man shit going on, right? And sometimes the perspective can get a bit one-sided, right? A little biased, a little skewed. And so I say, damn, who could I have on here who really can talk their shit, but also can give some context and some shit, education, some entertainment, a little bit of blend, a little bit of all of that, and give us a different perspective. And so, man, listen, let me just say, I wrote a few things that, man, listen, former model period. Once a model, always a model, right? Beautiful woman, but a content creator, a director, a visual artist, a producer, a writer, all-around innovator. On Instagram, you might call her D. Amber Rayne. How you doing, boss?
Hi. That was so nice. Thank you so much.
I feel like I left some shit out.
That was so nice. Like, I just call myself a visual artist.
Yeah.
I feel like that encompasses most things. I'm a visual artist and then a filmmaker, because that's like pretty much the main thing I do right now. Majority of my work is in filmmaking, but that was...
Break down visual artists, because some people say visual artist, was she a painter? You know, that's what their mind don't really go past that. But you tell stories and create art visually.
So I think visual artist is kind of a good blanket term for anybody that uses any form of visual art to express themselves. So whether that is like how you dress, through traditional fine art, through set design, through just making things and like photography, like all things that where you're consuming the art visually, whereas like music, you're usually consuming it sonically first, right? And then maybe there will be some visuals that come with that in the form of a music video or some content or whatever. But the visual aspect is anything that, any type of art that you're consuming visually that is stimulating you visually. That's pretty much like my realm of you know, the realm that I work within as an artist. But primarily I work in film as a producer. That's how I, you know, make majority of my money and sustain myself. But within film, I've also done a myriad of things, including casting, set design, wardrobe, art direction, but mainly I produce. But all of those things are in the realm of filmmaking, so I just consider myself a filmmaker.
So tell me the difference between a I mean, when people hear director, they think you out there with the camera. People don't know that's the director of photography usually, right? What you say you're a producer. Give me the difference. Break it down to me. What's a director? What's a producer? What's a creative designer? Like, tell me which purpose each lane has.
So the director is basically responsible for like how the end result is supposed to look. Like basically the team is executing their vision in terms of what the end result is supposed to be.
Right.
So conceptually, usually that the director, comes up with whatever, the concept is. You might have a creative director that also contributes concepts or adds ideas or whatever the case may be, but they might not necessarily be directing the crew on how to capture that, because the director is going to work with every department to communicate essentially what they want the vision to look like. So whether that's, talking to wardrobe, makeup, or whatever, like they are responsible for making sure that everybody kind of like understands what the vision is.
Right.
And then the director of photography or the DP is a person who's actually shooting. So they're the ones that's actually capturing the content, and they will work with the director, the assistant director, to come up with a list of shots that they want to achieve. They'll say what kind of shots those are. It's a pan, it's a wide, whatever. And that is the basis for how the project is shot in order to get the overall vision across. As a producer, I have probably one of the hardest jobs that nobody wants to do ever. And
dirty word shit.
Yeah, and it's really not in the creative realm when it comes to filmmaking. I handle like logistics. Like I organize everything. Like, and depending on what size crew you're working with, everybody has a dedicated job, but a lot of times I have multiple jobs regardless, because I have to ensure that no matter what, we are achieve what the director's vision is, or as close to it as possible. So as a director, I also might have to be the casting person. Even if I'm not making the final decision on who's chosen as the cast or as a talent, I am essentially pooling the people and curating who to submit for these positions or roles or whatever.
It is, yeah.
I'm also making sure, and I will say too, a lot of people I work with do value my creative input, which is why I kind of end up playing multiple roles, because I'll say like, I don't think this looks good. We need a plant here. We need this, blah, blah. And they will ask me, and partly because I've done some of these other jobs before, but they'll be like, oh, what do you think? So a lot of times I'll give creative input. I'll give input on wardrobe or do the styling if we don't have a stylist, because, we need to make sure things look right. So I handle everything that needs to be done in order to make it happen. I might hire the crew. I might order equipment. I might get all the locations, email everybody, all of that stuff. So it's a lot. And there's not a lot of, I feel like it's hard to find producers because it can be a very stressful job, and a lot of people don't want to or enjoy doing it.
I mean, it's real. And shout out to my production team, because it's a team effort. It's us. It's, we have, listen, I say it all the time. We got meetings where we fighting and clawing, and we got times where we feel like this Shaq and Kobe, and we winning a chip. Because as long as look, I might say go this way, you might say go that way, but long as our destination is the same place.
It's a big group project.
Look, we don't have to agree, you know what I'm saying? But we know this is where we're trying to go. And so we'll figure it out. Let me ask you, how important is it for you to know all these different aspects? Like for me, I would come in the studio doing music, right? And I would shake the engineer's hand, the recording engineer. I knew the lady at the front desk. I knew every operation, everything that was going on in the studio. I worked, at Carter Barron Amphitheater. Man, I was the light designer. I was the sound designer. I was the guy that swept the stage between performances. I moved the set. I was part of the tech team. I had to know everything. I talked to the janitors every day. I knew their job. I knew what time they was coming to clean the green rooms. How important, if you think it's important, is it for us to, even in leadership roles, to know all of these different aspects of what's going on in production?
So I'll say personally, like, there's some areas where I don't really know too much, but I have made it a point to make sure I have a basic understanding on what's supposed to be getting done.
Yeah.
So that, because that will fall on me. Like, at the end of the day, I will get the blame. Somebody is going to say, Amber didn't do that
Amber didn't do that, yeah.
Or you didn't make sure. So, like, I have to have my bases covered as much as I can. Like, I don't know everything about how to operate a camera, but I know the basic terminology that I need to know to communicate with my camera operators if something doesn't seem right or it's off, or I need to be like, how much time do we have? But I never, like, assert myself in a way where I make it seem like, you know, I know more than them. Like, I ask a lot of questions before I, you know, say, like, before I put the press on somebody, like, oh, we need to keep it moving, or what you doing? I need you to be doing this right now. Like, I ask, like, so what are we supposed to be doing next? Like, is there anything that you could be doing right now in order to get this done? Is there anything that I can help you with? Like, show me what you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm very much a team player.
Yeah.
And so when I see that there is a need, I'm either going to address it or I'm going to find somebody, like, go help them out. Go
delegate.
You know what I'm saying? Get my production assistant and be like, look, I need you to, you know what I'm saying, check in with this person, or get the AD to round everybody up, whatever the case may be. But I try to make sure that if I'm, you know, making any assertions, that I have an understanding of what's going on and where we at. So nobody's feeling like, you know, I'm pressing them and I don't even know what I'm talking about, or like, it's not time for that right now, whatever. I have to make sure that I'm fully aware of everything that's happening.
No, I think asking questions is a superpower. It gives you your strength, right? Before we go on, let me spark this up. Shout out to our sponsors, Mr. Roblado Cannabis Grow. Hit them on Instagram, Mr.Roblado. You see their logo and insignia right there. And shout out to the Flow and Funnel. We use some of that. They gave me some of their secret batch. I'm going to spark it up right now in a second. Do you smoke weed?
I do.
Okay, all right.
I actually smoke pretty much every day. And
cannabis, man.
Yeah, it's you know, something that really helps me maintain a level of balance when it comes to doing a lot of the work that I do. You know, helps me kind of decompress.
Now to tell you, yeah.
So I truly enjoy you know what I'm saying, indulging in cannabis. You know, my preferred way of consuming is to smoke. I'm a sheets and funnel.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, kind of girl. Used to be a backwoods girl. Used to do all that. Okay, it's I be telling people it's a progression.
I was a backwoods nigga until the girl I was fucking with left me for a rapper that smoked sheets and funnel. Shout out to Wiz.
Oh, okay. Well,
next thing you know, she ended up in Pittsburgh. I was like, it's all over.
Oh, well.
I didn't use U-Share, whatever that thing was everybody was on.
But it's a progression. We all had to start somewhere. Like, you know, it's hard to admit, but at one point, you know what I'm saying, niggas was smoking like
Optimos,
White
Dutches,
grape
cigarillos.
And I remember it was like, first of all, when I was real young, we was putting Reggie in them big Dutches.
Yes.
Yo, that was some wicked shit. Like, I was really a teenager getting high, smoking them big ass green Dutches.
Yes.
Reggie.
Yeah.
Then
take a little bit of the
inside out. You graduated to the Arizona. Okay, y'all remember Arizona?
Yes. Yes.
And then everything was like, what was everything? Everything was like dro at one point. It was all purple this, purple haze,
with the Dutch cigarillo, the grape jump. Woo.
And with the Rillos, once it got to, first it was great, then it was only chocolates, right?
For a long time.
For a long time. Then niggas finally went to backwoods, and then, you know what I'm saying? And I was like rolling backwoods, but then who used to remove the stem or
all the time?
You have to backwoods.
Oh.
Like, at first, when I first started smoking, I wasn't doing that. I just had to really be a really good roller so that joint wouldn't just...
I give you one even worse. When I moved to Atlanta in 2008, 2009, they didn't have backwoods and they didn't have Dutch Masters. And they damn sure they have sheets. They had like zigzags.
Oh, I remember zigzags.
Right? So Yeah, them jobs was terrible. So all they smoked down there was White Owls, Optimos, and fucking Swisher
I
Sweets.
never even heard of Optimus.
Them niggas in New York, that's they shit.
Okay.
Swisher Sweets was the shit down south side of Atlanta, Georgia, where I used to live in Washington Road in College Park. Everybody who, the trenches. This is might be the projects I lived in. They tore down. The rent was $400 a month. Girl upstairs ain't had no door for 7 months, and she worked at Wendy's.
Like a front.
A front door. It was wide open, and she slept like that.
What do you mean? I'm trying to visualize. What do you mean? Like
the door? Her baby
there
father
was no door
kicked
at
the
all.
door off the hinges to get in there, and she never got it replaced. There was nobody who worked in our front office. They took your money. I went 8 months without paying rent. Then I paid somebody $1,000 to have her son come turn my electricity back on with a silver fork. And whenever Georgia Pie came around, I cut my electricity off and then cut it back on. That's when they say I'm trapping out the bando. That's short for abandoned apartment.
But I'm saying she didn't have there was no curtain.
There was nothing.
Not even like the little bees that hang down.
She
like
didn't
at
take
least when
showers
somebody
much,
comes in, you hear the shh. And you know somebody's entered.
She didn't plenty niggas into that apartment. Let me just tell you.
Well, why didn't she have a door then?
I don't know. Them niggas ain't care. Niggas had, everybody had pistols.
Ladies, respect yourself.
Everybody had pistols.
Raise your standards.
Yeah, I would never go and
Don't
mess.
let a nigga in your house when you don't have a front door.
I give you one better.
Going to provide you one.
I give you one better. Guys, don't fuck a woman that don't got a front door. This shit ain't gonna end right. She don't give a fuck, and you should.
Honestly, I mean, it goes both ways. It goes both ways. Like
for me, Atlanta was my coming of age years, right? When I barely got out of high school, right? Let me just say I had like a .68 GPA, right? I had more. The only A's was absent on my report card.
You know what though? The people like that, they be having them stories. They be like the most successful people later. They be making money.
Yo.
Like people be like, I sucked in high school, and I'm like, because high school doesn't fucking matter.
No, and I wasn't interested. You know, I think for me, a lot of this stuff was, I just wasn't interested. I don't care what 3 squared times a triangle. I don't know what the fuck this means, and it don't make sense to me. But I would skip classes, but I would go to the psychology class. It wasn't mine. It was an old white guy who taught psychology, and he had a great class. And I had a teacher that was my godfather. Shout out to Mr. Evans. Anybody in Southeast? Y'all know Mr. Evans down at Anacostia High School. He was like Joe Clark in that motherfucker. He's still down there right now. He like Joe Clark. He have the blow on and everything. But he took a lot of us in who had issues at home, who was dealing with just coming of age, right? So them Atlanta years I was down there, I should have been in college. So I would go down to Clark, Atlanta, and this and that. And I was hustling. And I was telling somebody about selling CDs and K2 and some shit like that. Anything. I was really hustling, but at some point I was down in Clark, Atlanta, and Spelman and them. And what's the other one? Clark, Atlanta, Spelman, and Morgan. Is it Morgan? Morehouse. Morgan is in Baltimore, right? The other jump. So to me, that was my transfer. And the whole time I was living like in a boy house. I was living really bad. I was homeless, sleeping on trains and buses. I was spending $125 a month to live in a warehouse. I finally got a job washing dishes on Peter Street. I'm homeless. I'm on a train. I go to Peter Street because my cousin knew somebody there was a bartender. She's like, go talk to Cat. Cat, you should get you a drink. Only drink I knew the eggs for was because I just heard Fabulous talking about a Coco Loso. I didn't know what the fuck a Coco Loso was. I hate coconut. I said, let me get a Coco Loso. The girl gave me the drink. She gave me 2 of them. By the 3rd one, I'm asking, hey, y'all ain't hiring in this motherfucker? Because I'm home. I need something. She said, yeah, let me talk to the manager. So the manager comes, some young dude. He come out there. I say, bro, I can start today. You letting me wash the dishes, sweep the floor, clean the piss out the bathroom? Whatever you need me to do, I do it. He gave me a job right then until we come back tomorrow. I spent the last $200 I had on a warehouse. There was a work warehouse. You know how they got these workspaces. When everybody would leave, I stole a air space, what do they call it, space heater?
Space heater.
And man, my clothes was all in a bag. That was my pillow. And I'll put a blanket over top the space heater to keep me warm at night. It was the coldest one in Atlanta. But I did that for a long time, living in that warehouse. People come back, I act like I've been in there working all night because you wasn't supposed to live there. I'm washing my dick in the sink. These was my so-called college years, but it taught me so much. I saw you went to Howard University. Tell me about how going to a HBCU helped develop the person you are today? Specifically, the Mecca.
Wow. Well, Howard was really an experience for me. Howard was my first choice for school, and I didn't apply to that many schools, and I got in.
Damn.
And I also got like a scholarship my first year, so I was like, okay, I'm definitely going.
For what?
I actually was a political science major when I was at Howard, and my minor was in sociology. I was going to go to Howard Law when I graduated.
Shit.
But that did not end up working out how I planned. I'm really glad it didn't. But what really sold me on Howard was the step show, because I performed in a step show in high school. I went to Eleanor Roosevelt, and we had a boys and girls step team, which I believe they still do to this day.
Yeah.
And our coaches were in sororities and fraternities. And so a lot of our routines would incorporate all the all the different like tech, all the sorority fraternity shit where they, doing all their different, blah blah blah. So we
don't brush over that, because to me that shit was transformative.
But I mean, like, right, what I'm saying is
stepping and shit. They like,
yeah, they were really into. Like, what I'm saying was when we did our performance, we would do the Delta stuff, the AKA stuff, like, because we were in high school. So
okay, so y'all doing all of it.
Yeah, so we would incorporate all of that into our performances, and we would open up the show because we were in high school.
Yeah.
And it would get everybody hyped up or whatever, because they looking at us like, oh, these are our little future, you know what I'm saying? But it was like the energy. I was like, damn, it's like all these black people in here, and it's just like, this is crazy. And I was like, this is going to be fun. Yeah. Like, I literally thought like I was about to have a blast, which I did.
Yeah.
Maybe too much fun. But I just knew I wanted to go there. And I'll say, like, I had a pretty diverse friend group in high school. I really didn't have a clique. I had a best friend, but I could like hang out with different people. And at lunch, we had one of those lunchrooms like at a certain point where like everybody just played spades like all lunch.
And you could sit at every table.
Yeah, and like my partner every lunch was a Chinese dude named Tong.
Shout out to Tong.
So you know what I'm saying? Like I was cool with everybody.
Yeah.
But in middle school, it's funny because in middle school, I had all white friends. I was in specific classes that was for like really like the kids that was like at the top of the class. We were in the same class for like 7th and 8th grade, and there was only 3 black kids in the class.
Shit.
So majority of my friends in middle school were all white.
How did that affect you being the only black girl?
It didn't really.
1 to 3.
Well, I felt like my friends that I made in elementary school and the people in my neighborhood, like I kind of felt disconnected from them because I didn't get to see them in school. Like I had a best friend that lived across the street who went to the same middle school, and her mom was actually a teacher and one of my teachers at the school, but I hardly ever saw her in school. We didn't have any of this. You stayed in the same class for all your classes,
okay,
and we didn't have the same lunch. So like I did not see her until after school or when we weren't in school.
So college was way different.
College was way different, but like I said, even when I went to high school, I was in science and tech, which brings a lot of different people, a lot of different ethnicities.
From all over.
Right, because Greenbelt is mainly majority black and white.
Yeah.
So all the neighborhood kids is pretty much either black or white, but all the other kids that was in these programs were all different ethnicities. And by me being in the program and having classes, like I was just cool with everybody. Like, again, I had my best friend, and I would say the people that I'm probably still cool with from high school is mainly all black people. That's just kind of what I gravitate to. But honestly, like I just go where I feel comfortable and go where people like the same shit I like. When I was in middle school, I listened to a lot of rock music.
Yeah.
My first concert was Good Charlotte's.
Hello. They from here, right?
Waldorf.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and my mom went with me.
They from Wakanda.
My mom went with me, and it was a great time. But like, you know what I'm saying? That was just like a common thing that I had with my white friends because I was like into that at the time anyway. That was my vibe. So I didn't feel no type of way, and I never felt like I didn't in middle school. I didn't really feel like, oh, like I'm the only black girl. I was, of course, aware of that. As a black person, you always aware that you black when you like the only one. But they never made me feel like, they never said anything. And I've had those experiences. I've had experiences in groups where there is a white person or a student or somebody that says something.
Oh, you're so articulate.
Like, or just.
Oh, you're so smart. Bitch, what the fuck am I supposed to be?
I mean,
don't tell Jake he articulate.
But it's like, even beyond that, when I was, what was I in? I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
That's like summer after freshman year or something.
Okay.
I was the student ambassador and I went to Australia.
Wow.
And I was supposed to go with a group of kids from PG County, but my family vacation conflicted with the dates that they were going, and I had to go with another group of students, and they were all from like Minnesota.
Damn.
So they were all white. Like some of them, like our team, our leader, she was black, Miss Archibald, shout out to her. She came with us, but she had to give us a pep talk. Like some of these people, these students on this trip may have only seen black people on TV. They may have one black person
You the
at
first.
their school. Like they don't, or that, you know what I'm saying? Like they might have a skewed perception of what black people are supposed to be like or whatever. And when I was on that trip, me and like 2 or 3 other girls who also had conflicts, we were definitely a clique. We definitely stuck together. We all had cornrows or braids because we out of town.
Tight.
Cornrows down.
You
Okay.
never know what's going to happen.
So we talking about we was clicked up, but we started, opening up and being cool with some of the other students. But there was an incident where this white boy who, he was kind of like a little troublemaker, a little jokester or whatever. He was already doing a little shit. He getting reprimanded for, but nothing too serious. But he, we was like starting to get cool with him, and he was playing around, I feel like, with this girl named Precious, and he was just like, nigga, or some shit like that all of a sudden.
Chill out, white boy.
When I tell you she grabbed him by the shirt and pinned him up against the wall immediately, and we were like, what the fuck did you say? And literally simultaneously, our leader was coming around the corner, and she said, what's going on? And we were like,
something was coming around the corner,
he called us a nigga, blah, blah, blah. That's what I wrote my college essay about. We're going out of the country to foster relationships with people in another country. We were student ambassadors, and yet our little group of black girls has to deal with racial slurs from our own group of people that we're traveling with. Mind you, all of our parents complained. They wrote letters. He got kicked off like 2 days before the trip was over. It was like a 3-week thing. Yeah. And this happened in the beginning. And there was other things that he did along the trip that he was getting in trouble for, and he was not removed until the end, which in reality he should have been removed
immediately.
But I believe the people that run this program were probably also white. They were based in Washington State.
So how did it come into an all-black institution like Howard?
Oh, it was
changed. That got to be a culture shock for you.
I don't think it was really a culture shock. I just felt more comfortable. Like I just felt more at home because I've always, you know what I'm saying? I have a black family. Like my friends at home, or like, no matter what school I went to, my friends from around the way, my friends from elementary school, they black. So like that's where I felt the most comfortable. And I felt like I got a great experience there because you really realize how diverse black people are, because the people from the DMV in my class were the minority. Majority of people in our class were from other states. They from all these people from New York, all these people from Texas, people from LA.
All over the world. Yeah.
The people that actually go to the school that are from the DMV, it's like a little bit of us.
Small.
So of course, like we had our own stuff going on. We had a go-go my freshman year for the DMV club. I literally have a go-go picture in the Blackburn building.
That's tight.
In Howard, and one of like the ballrooms. We had bands perform and had a photo booth and everything. Like that's what we was doing.
Nigga, I used to stay up at the Tubman Quadrangle on the wall. I used to pour my liquor.
You was on the wall.
I was the promoter of promoters at the Head nightclub in the city. I was Love. We had Thursdays and Saturdays and Platinum on Sundays. At the end I was nickel and diamond, but fuck all that. This is when I could pull up in my Lincoln Continental with the white walls. What, are you crazy with the butter seats? And I get you in the #1 club in the city, and you ain't on the you up here with us. Oh man, yeah, I ran through Howard.
Yeah, I might have come across some people you ran into.
For sure.
Okay, because one of the, Love was the shit back then. Yeah. Everybody was trying to rub their exes off of their hands because we wasn't 21.
Yeah.
And all the girls that it was definitely some girls that had reputations because they would be at Love, and people would be like, they sucking dick to get in the club for free. And I believe it. I believe it.
Yeah, we had a little room called the Red. That's a whole nother thing. It was like a red room. The whole room was red velvet.
Meanwhile, though,
What?
you know what I'm saying? Like, when I started college, I was still 17. I had a late birthday.
For real?
So I could only go to places that accepted college ID, like when I first started, until my birthday, which was in November. And by then, like, niggas wasn't moving around too much. Niggas didn't have cars freshman year, living in the quad, and it was cold outside.
Yeah.
So, like, I was just like, well, I'm going to go to what I can, and then I'm used to it. I got a late birthday.
So let me ask you a question, right? So when you talk about the high school, you're an anomaly, right? Black girl, whatever, cool. But in anybody in high school, they'd be like, man, this girl, she the baddest, da 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 da.
I was a nerd in high school. I was not like...
Exactly. But now you at Howard, and I know all the guys, right? You getting this attention. How do you transform into the model that we all saw early on?
So it's crazy because that did not happen at Howard at all.
For real? Before Howard or after?
It was after. I do feel like when I was in college, I mean, I'm just around all these like black people.
Confident.
They're confident, they're attractive, they're smart. And I do feel like I was like, there's a lot more people that are just like noticing me, paying attention to me in general. It was very weird to me because like I had like 2 boyfriends in high school. I was just like chilling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
You a tongue, and that's it.
yeah, and I was just like, I had like kind of low self-esteem growing up. Like I didn't really consider myself attractive. I used to really like kind of pick apart everything about myself I didn't like. When I was younger, I used to be like, I'm gonna get surgery.
On what?
My face. Like I hated having a round face. I was like, I need to get like liposuction on my cheeks.
I hate that.
Like it would just be like, cause you know if you
No,
You know what I'm
this
saying?
girl used to
If
joke. She'd be like, "Oh,
and I'm
moon
like-
pie face." And I'd be like, "Bitch, I do not like that joke."
But look, also my
Moon
high
pie
school
face.
picture, one of my friends came over and was like, "Oh, Amber used to be fat," and I was like, "Bitch,
Oh,
first of all, never."
but it gave you a complex.
But my face was so fat and round in the picture, and it was like one of them
Fluffy.
like
It's fluffy.
Joy. She literally thought I was like chubby, and I was like, I've literally been trying to gain weight my whole
life.
But
Damn. So you was insecure. Okay.
yeah, and like you know, when I was in college, I didn't have any real serious relationships.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I dated some cool guys, but I definitely learned a lot more about dating in college because some of the guys that I was dating, I realized they were also dating like
Other people.
for the people.
Mm.
And some of them, like, I found out one girl literally lived on the floor below me.
Yeah.
And we almost fought outside. And she was like the same size as me, but she gonna bring her like big friends.
Yeah, but it makes.
And I was like he ended up coming with his friend because I don't know if she called him or something and was like, yo, you ain't
What he was going to do? Jump in?
He came drunk, number one. Mind you, his friend ended up holding me back because I was like, bitch, I'll throw you in the fucking trash can. I don't care about my house. And like, because I just can't do it.
How you gonna lose everything for him?
Not everything. I mean,
You gonna lose your house? That's a lot in DC.
It was a respect.
I got you. It's the principle.
It wasn't at that point. It was like,
principle. The
bitch,
principle.
we have a problem because I'm not gonna fight over a nigga. I'm gonna fight over you disrespecting me. I have a problem with you because I can leave a nigga alone. We can walk away, like have him, but don't come outside with your fucking clique like you about to jump me or some shit. Just
this my livelihood now.
Like
you can't threaten my livelihood.
Exactly, because if it come to, you know what I'm saying, you trying to attack me,
it's me or you,
or I'm gonna lose my, like I'm gonna defend myself. You know what I'm saying, like I'm not about to just let you dog me, like
every time.
So yeah, like.
So how does that turn into this model? We see this model so confident, so poised.
So you know what? My best friend is very, very, very beautiful.
Okay.
And very just talented overall, very creative. Her name's Leah. Shout out to my girl, my sis. But she has started modeling. Okay. And, you know, she was on this website called Model Mayhem. After she had did some shoots. Yeah. And was like, yeah, you know, there's some other photographers that reached out to me to shoot. And I really think you should do it. You should try it. And I was like, girl, you know, I hate taking pictures. I don't like smiling. I don't like the way my smile look. My face look fat. You know what I'm saying? My top lip small. You know what I'm saying? I'm just, you know what I'm saying? I was making all these reasons why I didn't want to, you know what I'm saying, do it. But she was like, I'll come with you, you know what I'm saying? I know this photographer I've been working with. And I did my first shoot, and I went ahead and used those pictures to start my profile. And as soon as I did that,
Lit.
they just, you want to shoot, you want to shoot, you want to shoot. Now, in retrospect,
Predator.
some of that shit was dangerous.
Predator.
Okay, because I'm just thinking, you know, we about to get some pictures, build a portfolio, or this person's going to pay me or whatever. Some of those people were definitely creeps. Definitely creeps. Luckily, I mean, I was smart about things in the sense where if I'm going somewhere by myself, I'm letting somebody know where I'm going, the address. I'm going to bring somebody with me if I can, if they're available. If the person says I can't bring nobody, that's a red flag to me. I'm probably not gonna do it. But you know what I'm saying? You have to be just very careful with that kind of stuff, especially like when you're a new model, because people take advantage of the naivety and being ignorant to certain things. And, you know, I've seen a lot of photographers in the area get exposed for being inappropriate. And I've had people ask me like, did they do that to you? Did you know? And I'm like, no, because when I would do my shoots, I'd be like, so I want to wear this shoe. This is kind of like what I have in mind. I'm not drinking while we doing this.
I was expecting 6 bodyguards to walk you in this motherfucker.
Oh no, I actually be a lot of places by myself.
Well,
and that's because, you know, and not that I, you know, as a woman, I'm very aware. I try to avoid doing certain things just for my own general safety.
Yeah.
But my true nature is like, I'll go anywhere by myself. I don't have no problem. I'll go to eat, to the movies. I used to be walking around DC in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? By myself.
But you won't smoke.
Going to my friend's house.
You
know what? I'm just too into the conversation.
No, go ahead.
I need a lighter though, too.
No, keep telling you about yourself story.
But no, like for real, I was just like, and I realized in retrospect, it was like, you're very lucky that nothing happened, because as aware as you can be, as prepared as you can be, you know what I'm saying? It's all kinds of things that can happen to anybody. But as a woman, you're just way more likely to be preyed on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
but you're covered. I did want to know, in your opinion, what's some of the pros and cons of being a young model entering that world? You know, that's a very predatory world. That's a very like, hey, come get some free pictures if you take your shirt off. You know, but you don't hear that part until you get in there.
right.
You know, and the camera's rolling.
You can always say no. That's the first thing I say to anybody that's entering into the space is like, never be afraid to advocate for yourself and make it clear what you're comfortable with and what you're not comfortable with.
Right.
And if there's anything that you are not comfortable with, stop, say no, and walk away and leave if you have to. It's never going to be worth it. It's a million people out here with cameras. And at the end of the day, like, you should never do anything that you feel uncomfortable with or feel like it's compromising your integrity. The other thing is too is try to vet people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Talk to people that know these people, models that they work with, and say, you know, what's it like being on set with this person?
What's up with this nigga?
Like, you know, is there anything that I should know? You don't have to insinuate that this person did anything, but just, you know, is there anything that I should know or be aware of about shooting with this person, like, so that I can be as prepared as possible to enter into this person's space? You know what I'm saying? Because you have to think, like, you're in someone else's space. You don't know what the fuck they got going on. It's photographers that have been exposed for recording models while they're changing clothes.
Nasty
you know what I'm saying? And then posting that shit on OnlyFans and shit like that and trying to make money off of it. So it's beyond being a fucking perv. You're literally exploiting people. You're, you know what I'm saying, putting shit out on the internet they may never be able to get back. And that can affect their whole life.
Yeah.
And people don't even think it's that serious. Like,
it's that serious.
You know what I'm saying? People are just just want their instant gratification because they're fucking sickos.
Now you gotta vet shit. Listen, on my birthday just passed, right?
Oh, happy belated.
Thank you so much. And I'm on there, and just randomly I get a charge to my fucking card, right? And I don't recognize the charge, say PayPal or some shit. I'm like, what is this? Whole time, something that I put my email address on. They done connected my email to my card, right? And so now it's automatically taking money out.
This scamming these days is next fucking level.
No, it's next level. It's next level. You don't see it coming. You don't know everything. And it probably, honestly, if it hadn't been my birthday, I probably wouldn't even notice that. You know what I mean? Because we get so many little charges, little ding, 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 your phone going off. You don't know. Okay, cool. Let's go back. So you modeling.
Oh, one last thing I want to add to that.
Come on,
too, is
talk
like
to
a
me.
safety tip. And I know that, you know what I'm saying, everything isn't reflective of who a person is, but you can background check people too, case search them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody has a past, but if you look in and you see somebody got a domestic violence, a sexual assault, a rape or something on their shit, you may just want to be aware.
No, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Not saying that those things always necessarily are reflective of the truth, because we have a very unfair justice system.
Yeah.
However, those are things though to be aware of, because if it's something that's recent that just happened, like
this nigga
like you may want to wait a little bit and figure out what's really up. You know what I'm saying?
Did that affect you transitioning from being in front of the camera to behind the camera?
So part of it was the lack of control you have over the images.
That's major.
Because a lot of people don't realize, even if you're the subject of a photo, you don't own that photo.
It's just the talent.
And as long as the person can like say, well, they consented, they didn't say, I don't consent, stop. Because people take pictures of people out all the time, right? Mm-hmm. And typically you're supposed to get consent from people to like photograph them or take pictures of them. But realistically, that doesn't always happen. However, you know, when you're the subject, you don't own that image. The person that owns the camera that took that picture owns the image, meaning they can sell it, they can do whatever. You cannot sell it. You have to talk to them before you try to profit off of that image of yourself, because you technically don't own it. They can sell you rights, like they can lease the photo to you for usage, but that usually costs a little bit of money. If you want to own the picture, that costs even more money. And they can set whatever price they want.
I leased the picture of myself to Watch the Post. Wanted to feature me on the front page. We leased it to him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We leased the picture to him. Yeah. I say, Dad, they paying me for a picture of me? Mm-hmm. But the girl who took the actual photographer, shout out my girl D. Dwyer, she had, after COVID, gotten really savvy with her business, because everybody was calling her for these pictures. She's an amazing photographer. We had her on the show. And so she said, hey, Floyd, they'll pay you for that picture of you. I'm like, for real? I'm like, they want to take a picture of it. She like, no, they'll pay you for you, nigga. They want you in their fucking newspaper. So that changed my whole perspective.
Shout out to her.
Shout out to her. No, for sure, she one of the goats.
Because not only does she know what she's talking about, because when you're a photographer, you need to understand intellectual property laws and things like that in order to protect yourself. Yeah. But also she, you know what I'm saying, provided you with an opportunity. She didn't stop you from making some money off of that, even though she owns the picture. She could have said, hey, listen, I want 100%, blah, 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 blah. She ain't do that. I said, all right, D, well, listen, I tell you what. Matter of fact, and I didn't do that. I didn't play big with them people. I said, hey, call my girl D, and y'all line up the business. Mm-hmm. She did what she was on, took care of me, and I took care of her. Mm-hmm. That's how we gotta do this shit. Okay, cool. That's the best way to go about it. That's a very honorable way to build relationship with your clients and the people that you're photographing.
And it comes from trial and error. So tell me about how those past experiences formed who you are today. Some people say, damn, did she blow up overnight? Where did she come from? Now she doing everybody's shit. You know, you did the Wale and J. Cole, Joe, kind of changed the landscape for you a little bit.
Well, that to me wasn't even that big of a deal, because I did set design on that. So and that was, you know what I'm saying? It was a big artist, but I was in a Wale video before.
Talent.
Well, that's true.
And leadership is different. Like, yo, she is the reason why this Wale's biggest song in 5 years or whatever it was. Are you crazy?
It was a lot of work too.
I believe it. Oh, tell me about. We'll break that whole. Tell me about the whole thing. How did you get the call? Because I want to know. You know, like we want to transition from, okay, she's she's the talent.
And then I went to photography because I had my own ideas. Okay. I felt like I couldn't accomplish them as being the subject. I was like, I got all these ideas, but I'm not really the right person, or like the look I'm looking for to do this. Mm-hmm. Let me get a camera and start experimenting you know what I'm saying, and putting together my own shoots.
Facts.
And I got my camera. I started using my friends as models. I would find my friends who would do hair, and I really started actually producing and creative directing all my shoots. I would shoot them, I would edit them. A lot of times I would do the styling too, because I really wasn't working with like stylists, because I don't think I really knew too many at the time.
Do it yourself.
So I did it myself, and I started like, just doing a lot of shoots. But it got to a point where the client work was kind of overwhelming. Again, like I'm like an introverted person, and I didn't maybe say that, but like it's just kind of draining constantly, like dealing with a lot of people all the time. And with the photos, I felt a lot of pressure, and I also felt like I was comparing myself to a lot of other photographers. And I felt like, well, in order for me to like charge this much, I need to be able to like edit like this, and I don't know how to do that.
Imposter syndrome?
Yeah, definitely. I've dealt with that a lot. I've had to get past that a lot.
Bossed up woman like you, leadership.
Yeah, I had to really work on myself and
everybody
do a lot of
about it. She was running the show. I just was talking to Pinky the rapper, like she was running the set.
Oh yeah, that was a great she did a good job.
So, but nobody would ever believe that you dealt with stuff like imposter syndrome and insecurity. And you telling me on the biggest set that you had today, Wale, J. Cole.
Well, really, because like when I first started doing all the creative stuff, I was figuring it out by myself. I didn't really have like any mentors or people guiding me. Like I would try to seek out stuff. You know, I work with somebody who ended up kind of like I realized over time was kind of like exploiting a lot of the people around him that was helping them. And it wasn't really beneficial. And I just took what I needed from the situation and, you know, used that as a learning experience. But I really just felt like, you know, I don't have the training and all the experience and the education that these people do. And, you know, this is what everybody likes, and I'm not really that great at that yet. And I'm like, you know, it's taking me a long time to learn this on my own. Like when I actually ended up going back to school and going to Bowie State, which is where I graduated from, I actually started in a major that was within fine arts. And my degree is in visual communications and visual media arts. And it's a Bachelor of Science, actually, which I was like, okay, I thought it was going to be a Bachelor of Arts, but guess I don't really understand that much.
Science to art.
I just know what I know. I know what I know. But yeah, and it is. But it wasn't until like I really took classes and I was like, oh, okay, this is a better way for me to learn how to do this. Because like, there's a million different ways to do the same thing on YouTube, and I'm not really picking it up because I'm not getting the repetition that I need. And in reality,
10,000 hours.
Yeah, and I needed, for me, some of the things I needed to learn really took like one-on-one, somebody like my teacher really working with me to help me figure this out and work me through the process. And that's how I was able to grasp it. But when I was doing it on my own, like, you know, it was a creative thing, and I did really well in school, but like I was in the science and tech program. I was really good at taking tests. So like the stuff I was learning, some of it was interesting. That's why I wanted to go into law. I thought I like government, I like English.
Yeah.
I was at an advanced level when it come to everything else, but I still struggled. Like I had to take calculus my senior year of high school, and I barely passed with a C.
I never made it to calculus. Let me just let you know.
Right.
I think they still was asking me what's 1 + 1 when I graduated.
When I started college, they were like, well, all you need is algebra 2. I was like, yeah, go ahead and start me back out. Because I will not be testing into do calculus here.
No.
I will not be doing that.
Make my life harder? Are you crazy?
I'm about to make this shit as easy as possible when it comes to this hard-ass shit that I'm probably not going to use.
Yeah.
Because... you know what I'm saying? I have an aunt that's a mathematician.
Yeah.
Like I can get everything I need to know from her.
So how did that, okay, so cool. Now, boom, you do photography, right? And so now you finding your way through this camera. How important is telling stories to you? Because what I've noticed, the common thread and the commonality between all of the stuff you do, in front of the camera, behind the camera, you telling stories.
It's stories, but it's also, to me, about representation.
Okay.
That's extremely important to me. Like, our stories need to be represented. Our image needs to be represented in the way we want to convey it, not the way like this machine or industry or company is saying that we should convey it. Black women need platforms to be represented in all industries, especially the ones that we're drastically underrepresented in. And we need to be more in control of how we're represented and the narrative that we want to tell about our lives and our stories.
Yeah.
And as well as other minorities in general. Like, you know what I'm saying? All my minorities and Black and brown people, like, we are still very much oppressed in so many ways. And we deserve to have just as much visibility in a positive way and just in general in a way that we control, just like everybody else.
We just heard Taraji go crazy. We heard Monique talk about it. Talk about this. Talk about some of the injustices that women in the industry are facing. If you can, you kind of just alluded to it just now. But talk about some of the discrimination that we see even now in 2024 when it comes to women in this entertainment industry.
I think part of it is just the perception of where women fit into these industries, like these perceptions by men who are ultimately controlling the industry. Like when it comes to film, usually women are expected to be like the talent or on the glam team, hair, makeup, wardrobe, maybe creative direction, but there's way less women that are in more of the leadership roles, directing, producing, you know, the people who are actually like putting everything together.
Right.
So you don't see as many of us like in those spaces, and we have to, you know, make sure that we are present like in those roles. And it can be very tiring when you're dealing with the dynamic of, you know, being the only woman in the space or being the only Black woman in the space.
Was it hard to transition from the talent to the leadership role?
I wouldn't say it was hard, but I dealt with that imposter syndrome because I felt like, well, again, all these people have been doing this. I've only been doing this really in one capacity. Like I have ideas, but you know, what I may be thinking of is probably stuff they already know.
Right,
or you know what I'm saying? Like, and I had to get to the point where I had to get to the point where I was like, well, you know, I'm here for a reason. They obviously feel like I can bring some sort of value to the situation. The worst they could be like is, oh yeah, we got it or whatever. Like, and at least I can learn more about who I'm working with and but I have to speak up and say something. I have to advocate for myself. And there was several times where I just felt like, you know, I couldn't really like worry about how the people, specifically the men around me, were about to react to me, but I needed to make sure that they understood like who I am and the type of business that I stand on when it comes to how I work, respect, like the general work environment, like, and I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I get you.
I'm not settling for no
bullshit. No, so listen, so that's my question. How do you present yourself on set? Like, how do you see yourself when you, I'm talking about from when you wake up that morning. You know you on the set, you know, okay, we done heard every interview, everybody talk about, oh, it's a predominantly male-dominated industry. Cool. We know that when we sign up for it, right? Tell me how Amber goes through the process of, because when we see you, you in full command. We don't know about no imposter syndrome. We don't know about no insecurity. We don't know none of that shit. All we see is this little mountain, right? Who's just commanding her respectfully though, right?
Of course.
You're not like, I was in a meeting today and I'm like, that's important because especially when you're dealing with people who are mountains within themselves. Guy like me got a huge ego. I'm on here with Palestine, Kafaya, some Fendi glasses, right? I got a huge ego, right? I'm on here talking. I know everything. I know this is my shit. I made this. Da 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 da. It's why they love you. It's why they hate you. They gonna watch it and say, "Fuck this nigga Floyd." You know what I mean? This is how it goes. It's like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if these. Yeah, it's just how it goes. And okay, niggas watched Floyd Mayweather for years to see him lose. He made more money than anybody because people hated him. That's the reality of it. I want to know how you, knowing that you're walking in a potentially adversarial environment where you're the, again, anomaly. Tell me how you see yourself from the beginning of the day. Do you have some pre-production rituals you do? Do you have a way is it smoking cannabis and meditating for a while, or just shutting off the world? Tell us a little about that process all the way from the beginning of the day to you walking on that set.
Well,
that was a lot. I'm sorry.
It was. I'm thinking. I need to put my thinking cap.
No, it's okay. Spark that blunt up if you need to.
But
That's my thinking cap.
Sometimes I do smoke before I have set. It really depends on like what kind of set I'm walking into.
Right.
Who's gonna be there, what the project is, what the vibe is. And I don't really have any morning rituals with the crew. I like go up to everybody and I'm like, make sure you eat the crafty. Make sure you eat the breakfast I bought.
Yeah.
Eat some food.
Yeah.
And then I just like pretty much go harass everybody in a very loving way.
Yeah.
Like the people that are on my set, we're like family. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's a certain culture that we've created where like there are times when we are like just,
Yes, I'm with
things are getting intense, or these people over here are like they got some shit going on, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we are doing a big group project. The goal, we all have the common goal. We have the same goal. We're trying to get some shit done together. And so we try to make all of our sets fun, enjoyable, no matter what the challenges are. We gonna joke about that shit. You gonna be the big, you gonna be the big. But it's never about to be like
big
that.
Me, little you.
It's never gonna be like in a condescending, like, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like I've created a culture where if anybody's ever felt comfortable with anything, like they come to me and it's addressed, you know what I'm saying? And everything is, you know what I'm saying, resolved. I also work with a lot of childish, mature people. And like, obviously that sounds very contradictory.
That's real.
But we all just have like a childlike energy in the sense where we joke, we like to have fun, we poke fun at each other, but it's never no harm. It's like we brothers and sisters for real. And
no, go ahead.
Because like shout out to Alex, shout out to Chris Hernandez, Chris Farmer, Jay, Gregory. Those my guys. They asked me for a shout out. So shout out to y'all niggas.
Do they have a company name?
Well, they all work with Cool Kids. We all work together.
Shout out to Cool Kids.
You know what I'm saying? So, those are my guys for real. Like we spend
those guys you just named.
We spend a lot of time together because we are like
close.
We're all leaders of, you know what I'm saying, a lot of the projects that we do.
Yeah.
So we have to spend a lot of time together working, and even there's been instances where people have gotten frustrated, and there's been, but I've literally watched, you know what I'm saying, people stand up and say, I apologize, you know what I'm saying? And I want to apologize to everybody because, you know what I'm saying, I had a, you know what I'm saying? Like, it takes a real mature person.
High on set.
You know what I'm saying? But the work environment is important. Morale is important.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I work with some really mature people. Shout out to my guy, Leon Spades. He's a gaffer. He does lighting.
Yo.
He's the one who got me the Poke It Out gig.
But that's important. People that speak highly of you when you're not even in the room.
Yeah.
But even me, like even with the team, I don't know if you heard me keep saying, man, thank you to my team.
Yeah.
No, because this is it don't matter how many ideas I had, we have to make this motherfucker come together.
Right.
And it's important to let people know life's short. I don't want to wait till somebody dead or I'm dead. They be looking over the box, wondering how I felt about it. I want to tell them right now, thank you.
Give people their flowers.
Because it ain't about me. You look on camera, you see me. You turn on YouTube, you going to see my black ass. That's a fact. I'm going to make sure you see me too. But I want to make sure you understand that this ain't a one-man band.
Absolutely.
Nothing can be if it's going to be successful. And shout out to Cool Kids, man. They've been around forever. And y'all made a very smart decision starting to collaborate with this young lady because clearly you see what we all see. And speaking of that, no problem. You spread your wings in a major way by stepping outside of your comfort zone and doing things like the Broccoli City Fest and then the Roots Picnic. Please describe to me that experience because now this ain't some DC DMV shit. cool. You been, you know what I mean? Describe to me that whole feeling. I went to my first Roots picnic, Brandon. We just talked about this. He was there. Was you there with your camera and shit? Was you there? Just a regular guy. I just got my camera, my Canon, right? So I'm there. I'm not there as like taking pictures for nobody else. I'm just there vibing. And it's the night Usher performed. I never seen, I'm an 80s baby, 90s raised me. So I come up, Usher, my nigga, I'm U.S.H.E.R. nigga, Chris Brown. What? Usher will mop his ass up in the verses. That's a fact. So, but I mean, outside of Kelly being the king of R&B, it's Usher, and everybody know this.
You talking about R?
Listen.
Wait a minute now.
Listen, I'm still stepping in the name of love. I know it's wrong. Damn, don't do me like that.
No, I can't even see that the same anymore.
It's nothing like 12 Play 2. And I hope he wants someone at 12-year-old.
Somebody just sent me like
me in my Jeep.
Somebody just sent me some trapped in the closet shit. Like it was like these little, somebody had some toys and was like reenacting the shit, like one of them joints.
Yeah.
It was hilarious, but I don't listen to R. Kelly anymore. I refuse.
That's where I got to separate the artist from.
We don't have to get.
No, we don't got to go there
to disagree.
But listen, I understand. And listen, I understand. And here's the sad part. There's a whole lot of y'all niggas. Yeah, that's all I got to say. There's a whole lot of y'all niggas that's hoping your name don't show up on somebody's list. And God bless y'all niggas. You know, but please tell me about how the fuck did you even get the opportunity to do something like the Roots picnic, the Broccoli City? We get jaded. We think, oh, Broccoli City, that's some local. No, nigga, this is a national platform that artists from all over the world, Tim's, Ireland's, whatever. I saw Future, I saw Janae Aiko at Broccoli City. In the rain, they was playing Purple Rain. That
was a very epic Broccoli City. Like, I will never forget that Broccoli City.
Purple Rain in the rain.
Like, shout out to Broccoli.
Nigga, that's epic.
Yeah.
How did you become a fixture in what's going on right here, but then spread your wings to go to that Roots picnic?
So Roots picnic and Broccoli was two different experiences. I had two different jobs.
Talk about it.
Broccoli, let's start with Roots, because that was, I think, year before last for me. I couldn't do this past year because I was working on another project, but that year I was like a production coordinator for the film crew. And basically my job is to make sure that like the cameras are catching everything they need to catch. I'm communicating with our director from wherever he's at and letting them know what's up. I'm keeping up with the schedule, all the changes, trying to figure out what's happening internally, because, you know, there's a lot of things when it comes to events that are out of our control on a film crew perspective. Mm-hmm. Like if the event production is not happening properly, you know, shit is behind.
Everything.
We don't know what's happening when anymore. People are getting replaced and we don't know, like we didn't know this person's getting replaced, and we are expected to, you know, have certain deliverables ready by a certain time, you know, for this client. That's a lot of pressure. And then you out there running around all day in the heat or whatever conditions it's in. I've been at Broccoli when it's raining all day.
It's always raining.
Soggy as shit at the end of the day.
Always raining in Broccoli.
So soggy. But, you know, it's crazy. Like, it's a lot of work. It's draining as shit. And we always do 2 days. So the first day, it's like you going and like, you know, you got all this adrenaline, and at the end of the day, it's like it's a long day. You might be leaving at 2 a.m., 4 a.m., whatever, but like you had a great time and you saw all your favorite artists, and I got pictures of some of these people. It's so tight. But by day 2, bruh,
over that shit.
You want to be ready for it, but like your body is just like,
fuck Usher singing on that. Fuck that nigga and fuck this festival.
You know, people are coming a little bit later the next day, and you know, people's definitely more tired. But that's where having a strong team comes into play, because you got to have people to lean on and like make sure that everybody's good. People are getting food, they're being hydrated. We bringing them waters, we bringing them towels, whatever they need. We doing everything we can to look out for our team. Yeah. So, you know, that like.
Why you say it was so different
Well, because Broccoli City, I was a stage manager, an assistant stage manager. I didn't work with the film crew.
Oh, it's different.
That was my first time doing that job for Broccoli City.
More freedom working with the film crew.
Definitely, you're all over the place. For being an assistant stage manager, I was assigned to one stage both days. So I couldn't leave, that stage like until shit was done.
Mm-hmm.
And then like maybe if there was some performances still happening at the main stage going late, I could catch them. But I believe like last year, I think, yeah, that's when there was a weather issue.
Yeah.
So they had to shut shit down early. So it was like after that shit happened, it was like, all right, we just going home,
But how did you carve this lane out for yourself?
Well,
I mean,
the same
who the
people
fuck would think? I mean, Broccoli City, Roost Picnic. How are they calling Amber? How do they know
it's the same
she
people.
can deliver?
It's because the people I work with
Yeah.
know I can deliver, and they keep hiring me because out of bio.
Yeah, that's my guy.
He, I work with him on Roots, and he's the one that referred me for the position for stage manager.
Yeah.
Because the film crew situation was going to be a little bit different, and like he just wanted to make sure that like I had I feel like he looked out, like he gave me a role that he knew I could get paid something decent, and I was capable of doing the job, and it would be another good experience for me. So literally, Cool Kids, like shout out to them. It's that network of people that I've met working with them. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm motivated to do whatever I can to add value. These people is pouring into me just like I'm pouring into them.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a major thing. What's the biggest difference between preparing for a live shoot like a festival and film or video?
Live shooting is hectic. When
Give me the breakdown.
Like you're moving around, and then like all of these concerts, it's always miscommunication with the security companies. They be having like multiple because they have so many people at the festival. Yeah. They have to make sure they have a certain ratio of security to people there. So they usually have to hire multiple companies in order to satisfy, you know what I'm saying, safety codes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, you might have talked to these security and you're good over here, but now these security won't let you over here. And it's like, I'm supposed to have access to this. They kick us out of the pit every single
time?
Every single time. And there's some performances.
What, they need credentials? What's going on?
And this is the thing, we're working for them.
They see this big ass badge you got.
We're working directly for the event itself.
They think you just...
And we are fighting to shoot the shit. We are fighting for our lives out there.
Yeah.
In the rain, in the heat, in whatever conditions to shoot the shit for the client.
So give us listeners a breakdown of how you run your set.
For live?
No, either way. I know it's different, live and visual. So give us. You might got somebody who watches and say, "Damn, I want to do that. I thought all I could do was be a model. I thought all I could do was be the talent, but now I could be Ava DuVernay. Now I could be Amber Rayne."
One of the main thing is like, if you want to elevate, like you have to imagine like, what are the things that I imagine somebody would be doing that's like operating at this level.
Yeah.
A lot of it comes down to professionalism, organization, and communication. Like, because no matter how much talent you have, like if you don't have those things and you don't have like the drive to like want to make progress and learn, then you're gonna be stagnant for real.
Yeah.
And I feel like for me, like when it comes to my sets, my sets are usually fun and laid back and people can enjoy themselves, but also there's a structure. Like you get information ahead of time.
Yeah.
You know what to expect. There's a call sheet. Everyone's contact information is on there. You know who to contact when you arrive. If you get lost, if you're running late, you know what the schedule is. You know when we're having lunch and when there's a break in case you need to do some other shit, make a call on your own time. You know around what time we're supposed to be rapping. You know what you're getting paid before we shoot. You're going to get information, or you will already have information on how we're going to pay you and what information I need in order to pay you, because we're doing this professionally.
It's a lot, yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? We're going to make sure you're credited. We're going to make sure that you are, also provided with, like if there's pictures of you, once we do what we need to do, we'll give you those pictures so you can use them how you want, and we'll let you know what information to include.
I said that's a lot, but it's not really a lot. That's just professionalism. Like you said, this is a product. This is the product we're giving you, and we're gonna push the line. It's fucked up that I said it's a lot because we've accepted the bare minimum.
Yeah, that's a major issue, like especially around here.
But
like,
what do you see? What do you see? Okay, you've been around, you traveled. What do you see the major difference between the entertainment industry in D.C., the DMV, versus other cities like Chicago, Atlanta, New York, L.A., Miami, wherever?
Wait, ask the question.
What do you see the biggest difference is between the entertainment infrastructure that we have here versus other major markets? The Mid-Atlantic region, D.C., Maryland, Virginia, Baltimore, Delaware.
We don't really have the infrastructure. Like, that's what's happening. We just don't have it.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have real major record labels that are producing artists that are competing with, you know what I'm saying, the biggest artists coming out of some of these other regions.
Yeah, we don't have it.
You know, we talking about Florida, Texas, Memphis, you know what I'm saying, New York, LA. Like, our artists are not, they're not being recognized. Even some of our biggest artists are not being really, like, I feel like, given the same. Like,
what constitutes biggest? Because the drill artist is doing numbers here on YouTube.
Yeah.
Right? They get somebody $300 and they do a little shitty video. But if they talk about killing enough people on YouTube, they don't gotta call Amber Rayne the cool kids.
But what do you consider to be, like, success when it comes to having a music career? Because I feel like part of that, for me, has to do with longevity.
Okay.
And you can get a YouTube check, but, like, you can also get sponsorship checks and, like, royalties from placements, and you know what I'm saying? Like, if all you worried about is YouTube money, then, like, I just, you know what I'm saying? I feel like.
But do you have to navigate backlash that comes from, like, your opinions that you talking about right now, right? Like you just said earlier, motherfucker might say, man, I ain't trying to hear that shit. Listen, Lil Pookie and them said, fuck this dead op. That nigga did 300,000 views. Meanwhile, such and such did a video with you, and that joke did a cool 10,000, but it ain't do 300,000. So I'm not gonna spend whatever you charge. I'm just gonna go in front of a camera and say, fuck these niggas. I'm smoking the dead ops, and I'm gonna get the views off controversy.
I just feel like it's limiting. Like, you just kind of putting yourself in a box.
Very limiting.
Because some of these, like, underground artists, they have, like, major followings in other countries, and they be going on tour, like, mini tours in Europe and shit. And forget, like, you know, making a ton of money. They are traveling outside of the country and having experiences that they otherwise may not have been able to do or do within that period of time if they weren't, you know what I'm saying, focused on having a certain quality and trying to, like, get to a certain level.
You think the DMV is starting? I know we talked about not having the infrastructure yet in comparison, but do you think we're starting to find some upward trajectory? We see rappers starting to get mentioned a little bit more. We see so many different podcasts, type of media platform, multimedia platforms now. My show, this show, that show. We got, and none of it is the same. I'm not the same as Paris and Vanilla Dream over there, girls. I saw you
shout
on
out
there.
to them. I love them. Those are my
Y'all had
girls.
Bus Boys and Poets. I said that must have been the last second call.
Well, the particular dish that
I
I
ate
ordered.
Nothing.
Well, because
you ate nothing. I'd have been mad as shit. I spent $40 on your plate. You eat one bite.
First of all, I just want to be clear. I ate all of that food. I just did not eat it.
You ate it at home.
Yes.
You got to smoke one first.
I'm going to just be 100% real with y'all. And I'm sorry, y'all.
Please,
but
me.
The food was cold because the plates that we had, like, wouldn't fit in the microwave.
Yeah, okay.
It was just a technical issue, and I really wanted to enjoy it while it was hot.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know, I, like, took a couple tastes of it because it's delicious.
Yeah, it's delicious.
And I wanted to eat it, but I was just like, I would really rather wait till I get home and, like, eat this. Like, I would probably just go home and smoke it and really enjoy this hot meal. But I had to, like, it's one of my favorite dishes from there, so I was still able to, like, speak on the quality of it, you know what I'm saying, for the sake of, you know what I'm saying, letting people know
Yeah.
how good it is and like why I like it, because I've had it so many times. It was like gonna be
Yeah. So, but you see, so clearly we got some motion going right here. Where would you? I mean, two things. Double-sided question. Where would you place us in comparison to if we had to compare? Like if we had to say DC's on the map now, where on the map are we? Are we close to where we want to be? Do we still got far to go?
what are you talking about?
talking
The creative
about
industry
major,
overall, or just music, or just
entertainment, period.
I mean,
Right?
I think
You look
we're
at
on a-
Atlanta, they making movies down there, they making music down there, they doing reality shows down there.
So I really think we're on an upward trajectory,
Okay.
to be honest.
That's beautiful.
I think, overall, like our creative industry and community has grown a lot.
Yeah.
And I feel like I see a lot more people getting the opportunities like they deserve. But I think like, so I'll just give an example. When it comes to the film industry,
Yeah.
there's always been a pretty decent film industry here, but it was mainly based in like documentaries.
Yes.
And like, a lot of stuff surrounding politics.
That's true.
Because the government is here, the White House is here.
Everything is Washington, not
right.
DC.
So like as it pertains to film, I feel like there's been a lot more going on like within the film community on the creative side. So outside of just like the documentaries and the stuff that the current film industry was already doing, there's been more of, I feel like, an expansion on the creative.
Yeah, making little movies.
Like we already know how to do like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Sales stores.
Right. Like we already know how to just shoot people speaking, get in the panels and all that. But we're talking about like real, creativity and those like people being highlighted and spotlighted for those reasons. So I definitely think it's moving in the right direction. I think we really just need to like come together.
Oh, okay.
Like
Come together.
I feel like sometimes people feel like when they get to a certain point, they gotta like, they at this point, like I gotta get with these people up here. When in reality, like network with the people that are right there with you.
Yeah, but a lot
and
of
help
time-
pull each other up together.
So let me ask you a question. Do you believe in gatekeepers? Do you believe that's the real thing?
Like that people do that?
Yes, they gatekeep. Or they consider themselves gatekeepers.
Yeah, I do. I absolutely think that there are people who do that and believe in that and consider. I've seen people be like, you should gatekeep this information. Why do these people deserve to have it? Why are you giving it away when you could be selling it?
But that's predatory.
I feel like
I guess up and coming artists who got a dream, all they got is a dream.
I just feel like let people like do what they want to do. The people who are seeking the information will find it.
Yeah.
The people who want to pay for it from you will pay for it. And whether they feel like, whatever's beneficial to them is like subjective to them and their own experience.
What you mean?
They may feel like it was worth paying for the shit that they had.
Yeah.
Because, the shit they got for free was good, but they got way more out of the shit they paid for. And maybe they paid $15 for it and it wasn't that much of an investment, but they gained a lot and they feel like it was worth it.
Yeah.
And whatever that person believes, this is why you should I should sell it because I'm not charging a lot and it's good information. And this person is, for whatever reason, maybe taken away from what I'm doing, when in reality, that's not the case. Just focus on what you're doing.
What's the importance to you on investing in yourself?
It's necessary. You have to bet on yourself. You have to be willing to invest in yourself. And I mean in a multitude of ways.
Yeah.
I'm talking about energy, time, financially, like depending on what you want to do. God, I lost the cherry.
It's okay.
I'm kind of disappointed in myself.
It's okay.
Anyway,
Depending on what you want to do.
say it again.
You was talking about investing in yourself, and you saying depending on what you want to do.
Yeah, you have to be willing to make the proper investments. Like, how bad do you really want to do whatever you're trying to accomplish? How passionate are you about reaching the goal? Are you willing to make sacrifices? Are you willing to discipline yourself? Are you willing to, put in an effort and being intentional about what you're learning. And, like, I see so many people that say they want to do something, but like, it's very obvious that they're unsure. They're unsure of themselves. They keep starting shit over. You deleting your Instagram page and rebranding for the 60th time. And it's like, are you really trying? I'm taking a hiatus.
Yeah.
And it's like, from who?
Nobody cares.
Like, your friends care. Your,
They don't
couple thousand followers may care a little bit, some of them, but it's like, you're doing this for yourself at the end of the day. Yeah. How bad do you really want it? How dedicated are you to it? And you have to determine, you know what I'm saying, like what that means to you in terms of, where is it on a priority in your life? Of course you have to live. You have to, you know what I'm saying, take care of yourself before anything. Like, health is wealth. You have to make sure that you're good at a basic level. But if you have a dream, like, you're going to do whatever you can to make it happen.
We just seen your girl Issa Rae, her show, what's the show about city girls and them?
Rap shit.
They canceled it. Rap shit, they canceled it. We see Ava DuVernay putting out a movie right now, a film right now, this right before the election date. This heavy. We see shout out to Lena Waithe thing, and I just was watching King and Slim. Is that the name of it, King and Slim?
Yeah.
Who was Queen and Slim?
Yeah.
Queen and Slim. So King and Slim. Yeah, that's a different type of movie. That's a different type of film. As we wrap up, I want to know, who inspires Amber Rayne? Everybody looks at you, they say, damn, she's the head, she's the boss, she's the leader. And we talked about your leadership skill. We talked about some of your methods and how you galvanize the troops, how you walk into a set. But we didn't talk about your inspiration and what motivates you to keep doing what you're doing, to keep creating new lanes. Tell me a little bit about some of the inspirations you have as a female. Can I say female? Is that still a thing? Female? Is it okay to say? Or should I say woman, female filmmaker?
I mean, woman, female filmmaker. Just me. I mean,
I don't know. Now I tell you what. Fuck all of them. As
I'm
filmmaker,
I'm a woman in film.
You are a woman in film. See,
trying to think of the.
It's hard out here.
It is.
It's hard out here.
It is. I'm not gonna lie.
Hard out here.
You
say female and it'll be a 10-minute thing page on TikTok about how this. Can you believe he said female? So I don't.
It's like, but when you use female, it's like you're supposed to be using it as an adjective to whatever it is you're referring to to specify the gender. Okay. But when you use it by itself, that's when it kind of becomes more demeaning, because it's like, what female you're referring to. Right. We don't typically refer to men as males. We say guy, man, boy.
Let me just say this.
Whatever.
I think you're incredible at what you do.
Thank you.
So I don't even want to say, because I hate when they say best actress, best actor. Who was the best motherfucker on that screen? Was it Alfred Woodard or not? Was it Denzel, or who was it? So I don't even want to give you no adjective for you being a filmmaker, because you a filmmaker. But I do want to know, in relationship to other filmmakers who are women, do you have any, what are your inspirations? Or if it ain't none of them, where do you seek inspiration from?
Oh my gosh. So me, I'm inspired by the people around me.
Nice.
I work with a lot of amazing women. I have a lot of amazing women in my family, and a lot of just really amazing people in my family.
Yeah.
I really am very blessed with the family that I have and the relationships that I have with my family, my parents, my sister. They're very kind, giving people, and they have always just raised me to be like an upstanding person, like a good person, a kind person, and someone that's always willing to help other people. Like, that's what I learned literally from who they are and the things that I see them do for others,
These
like
women.
even outside of our family, even the men in my family
Okay.
too. Like we all come together, but I just happen to have a lot of women in my family. Like it's just a lot of girls and women. But that, and then the people that I work with with some of the most like talented people that are just super creative.
Yeah,
They're super fun. And like I just relate to them so much because we're all like genuinely like passionate about what we do. We're trying to help each other. And they're also hilarious. Like everybody, I just like really can't keep people around me that aren't funny, that aren't like entertaining, because like, you know, I just need you. If
I'm with you.
You need to have a certain level of silly goose energy, or it's just not going to work. It's not going to work. And these people, some of them have exuberant levels of this shit, but it's wonderful. And like, you know, the women I work with are really like, I'm watching them kind of step into their own power in other roles, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, I have brought a lot of women into the space. I tend to hire a lot of women production assistants.
That's tight.
Where typically a lot of like the guys I work with typically will hire males because they're like, you got to move stuff around. And I'm like, well, the girls I work with are pretty capable of moving this shit around. Like, it's not that heavy. Like the point is, I need somebody that's capable of doing whatever we need them to do. So
but how important is it? So, because it sounds like you're trailblazing, you open opportunities, and you're very intentional about bringing people to look like yourself and have those similar experiences. But how important for you do you think it is for young girls to find these creative ways to express themselves? We don't, okay, enough with the washing dishes and cleaning the house and catering to a nigga. I mean, how important is it for y'all to be able to tell y'all story and find expressive, creative ways to do that?
Well, I mean, it's important, number one, because a lot of us just aren't even like exposed to, like, I never considered working in film. Like, that's not what I ended up like getting my degree in when I went to school. Like, I could have made that my concentration, but I didn't do that. And I ended up working in film because somebody was like, are you interested in doing this? Would you like to be a film producer? And I was like, what is that? Like, I didn't know what that job entailed. I've heard of music producers.
Yeah.
And I didn't do anything in the music industry, but I knew what that was. And I did not know what a film producer was or did. And they had to literally explain it to me.
Yeah.
So the fact that a lot of us don't even know that there are these jobs available for us because we're not necessarily like the men, I was like kind of like invited to be or to learn under these guys in film because they created space for me. You know what I'm saying? Like they had to be intentional about bringing me in, and it was always just like a comfortable environment. Like they never made me feel like, you know, anybody was like being weird, coming on to me, being inappropriate, being mean. Like I was treated like everybody else for the most part. And
but that's them. Do you have a passion project for you? Like anything in the world? I know we gotta wrap up. I want to know, do Amber Rayne got that's them. That's their thing. Do you have a passion project that you want to get done?
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that and what you got coming.
So,
okay. No, go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Do your thing. I'll ever apologize. Just pass the lighter.
No, no problem.
Tell me about it.
I hear you giggling back there. I actually am planning on launching my own podcast this year. And the reason is because I really want to like just provide more education, resources, and guidance for other creatives.
Yeah.
I want to just give another platform for creatives and the type of people that I work with and network with and that, you know, connect with me and collaborate with me. I want to give them a platform as well. And, you know, I also just want part of it to be, you know, like getting to know the person and who they are. And then, you know, also you know, and then also provide some education about what they do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I want people to understand that, like, everybody is just a person, like, going through life, trying to figure it out, trying to make the best decisions they can, learning from their mistakes. And maybe there's some things that you can learn from hearing about their story and learning about them that can help you along your journey and make it a little bit easier to navigate, you know, especially in an area where, you know, we're making progress, but things are still in a state of progress. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you know, we still have, you know, some things that, you know, we want to accomplish. And I think, you know, the pandemic kind of like put a slight, you know what I'm saying, like
Yeah.
roadblock slightly
A little bit.
with that, because everything just slowed down and a lot of places closed, like, you know, a lot of resources that were there previously, like, may not be there, and trying to like find those resources when the economy is the way it is and things are even more expensive.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard, but we all really just gotta like come together, and that's what
Excuse me.
yes, bless you.
That might mean a sneeze.
It's
like that.
okay.
Nah,
I didn't know if it was a cough or a
No,
sneeze.
it's not COVID. That's okay.
Okay.
That's the shot.
But yeah, like, I just want to continue to like try to help.
That's
Like,
tight.
that's what I
That's
wanna
tight.
do.
I was gonna ask what's next for you, but it sounds like you got some plans in the works. Look, tell people how they can find you. Listen, let me just say, you already know what I'm about. You know what I'm saying? Damn honor and a privilege and a pleasure and everything to have you here. You dropped so many jewels tonight doing this episode. Tell them how they can find you, how they can book you, how they can link with you, how they can work with you, all of that shit. How they can learn from you.
So
Come on, man.
the main platform I'm on is Instagram. You can follow me at the Amber Rayne. That's RAYNE, and you can also follow my media page, Amber Rayne Media. Also, if you're interested in like working with the main production company I work with, Cool Kids, we have a link in our Instagram bio. That's an intern like intake form, because we want to start bringing in some interns and providing like some education for people that are interested in getting in film in the area. But their Instagram page is Cool Kids Forever DMV. And yeah, there's a form there. And if you want to contact me, you can email me, theamberrayne@gmail.com. That's like, you know, send me a professional email of, you know, whatever you would like to work on.
Get it done.
And we can do it.
Yeah, I love that shit. Man, that's man, the honor.
Thank you for having me. I'm
Thank
honored
you.
to
Now, I learned so much about you that I didn't know. Listen, and look, y'all make sure y'all follow the High Thoughts podcast page. Follow 42 Combs. Follow A. Brandon. Elite, what is it? Elite Stat. I knew it was Elite Stat, but I didn't want to fuck it up. Definitely the Culture Media Network. Floyd World, Amber Rayne, the Amber Rayne. High thoughts as we wrap up. Hey, be fearless, right? And fuck everything else. It don't even matter. Like, even the opposition you tell yourself, the voice you hear inside your head, you think is real because it's you. But it's not. It's bullshit. It's insecurity, it's self-doubt. She talked about it here. She commands every set over and over and over again. But yet and still, she dealt with these things. Me, I come up here every week over and over and over again. And every week I feel the same things. I got to meditate, I got to pray, I got to do all this just to come in front of this camera and do this. It's not thankless work we're doing, putting this stuff out here to the world and letting you all in the comment sections or your view number or this or that be the judge. But we do it. But we artists and we sensitive about our shit. And it's okay to be that. Be fearless, man. That doesn't mean you don't have self-doubt. That doesn't mean you don't have insecurity. That doesn't mean you have worries or concerns. It means that you're courageous enough to do it in spite of all of that. It don't matter what nobody say, what nobody feel, nobody think. We are artists and we doing this because it's what we're put here to do. So I encourage you to keep on your journey, whatever it is. things can change. If you judging your success by validation or what this person or that person got to say, you're going to lose every time. We can't please them all. Just do what you put here to do, what God put you here to do, whoever, however you get down, the reason why you're here. Each and every week or whenever you see us, we wind it down now. Floyd 118, the High Thoughts Podcast. Salute.
Well. Take it over. Yeah. Shit. Fuck it up, bud. Take it over. Go. Yeah. Go. Yeah. Go. Yeah. Go. Shit. These hoes fuck with me for my swag. That 2007 shit got me in my bag. Never been a nigga this good for this long. Only seen a nigga this good on this song. Shit, don't get me wrong, I see they on some different other shit. Money say I'm Democrat, my hustle say Republican. Know some ghetto bitches, pussy hitches like you want it slim. Got some bougie bitches that's gon' lick it till you come again. Shit, do your thing, do your thing, do your thing, bitch. Do your thing, do your thing, do your thing, bitch. Do your thing, do your thing, do your thing, bitch. Do your thing, do your thing, do your thing, slim. These hoes fuck with me for my pampering. I had pounds and keys in my cash. You can have whatever you want if you like. You ain't never fucked with a thug and you mine. Gnarly do, I pump that Bob Marley fool all day like them Rastafaris do. Thinking how to get paid, I need Ferraris too.